Today's recipe calls for all-purpose flour because we're going to make homemade crackers. So with that said, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is preheat our oven to 400 or 205 Celsius. Next, in a medium-sized bowl, we're going to add 1 1/2 cup or 191 grams of all-purpose flour. Then 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Then we're going to whisk that together to make sure everything's well incorporated. At this time, you can add any herbs you would like rosemary or thyme, or add a hard cheese like Parmesan or Manchego, or even add sunflower seeds if you would like. Next, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You can use avocado oil or sunflower oil. I would stay away from coconut oil just because it has such a strong flavor to it. Or you could use duck fat or bacon fat or even butter, but we're going to try to keep it healthy this go around because it's a new year and a new you, so let's keep it simple. Next, we're going to add 1/2 cup or 118 milliliters of cold water. Next, you're going to grab a fork to start mixing our dry ingredients with our wet ingredients to start forming our dough. Avoid using a whisk because it'll gum up in your whisk and you'll just make a mess. Then ditch the fork because it becomes useless and just start using your hands. And just lightly knead your dough in the bowl to start creating a dough ball. Your dough ball will be tacky and a bit sticky at this time, but this is what it should look like. Next, we're going to flour our work surface so we can start kneading our dough ball. Like I said, your dough ball will be a little sticky and tacky at this time, so keep adding flour until it's nice and smooth and is not sticky anymore and you're able to work with it. The end product should be fairly smooth and easy to work with. There's not a precise measurement of how much flour you should be using, so it may be different every single time. But now this is what your dough should look like and you should be able to touch it and your finger does not stick to it. Next, we're going to flour our work surface again. And you can spread your flour out, it's not necessary. And we're going to flour our rolling pin as well. This will help prevent the dough from sticking when we roll it out. Then do a dough drop because why not? And then use your hands to help flatten it out. This will help the rolling process. Then grab your rolling pin and roll away from you and back and forth. We're just trying to flatten the dough out, and then flip it over. And roll that side a couple times. Then flip it back over and roll that again. Then turn it sideways so we get a uniform shape and just keep rolling back and forth. Starting to turn into a little personal pan pizza almost. So we're going to continue the process of rolling the dough with the rolling pin and flipping it over and turning it sideways. This will take a little bit of time. We're rolling our dough out to about 1/8 of an inch. That's how thick your dough should be. And you can use your hands to feel how thick it is. Next, you're going to grab a fork and pull a Michael Myers and just start stabbing your dough all over the place. This doesn't have to be perfect or precise. You just want your dough to have little holes all over the place. This will help prevent any air pockets from forming during the baking process. This will help keep the cracker flat and uniform. Stabby, 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 stabby. Next, we're going to use a little bit of water. You can use a pastry brush for this. I do not have one, so I use my built-in pastry brush and use my little fingies to spread water over our dough. The water will help any salt or sunflower seeds or rosemary stick to our dough. So with a dry hand, we're going to lightly sprinkle our dough with sea salt. And if you want to show off, you can always pull out the salt bay when you do this. So with a miniature pizza cutter, we're going to start cutting our crackers. I'm just going to eye it out today. You can use a tape measure if you would like, if you want something more precise. But I'm feeling lazy, so I'm just going to eye it out today. First, you're going to cut vertically, and when you're going to eye it out like I am, you just want to make sure the width of your cracker is as even as possible so we get an even bake on all of our crackers. Or you can cut it horizontally like this once and make one giant cracker. Watch to the end to see what I'm talking about. If you're using a tape measure, you can always square your dough off so it's easier to get a precise cut on your dough. Next, on a lined sheet tray with parchment paper, we're just going to transfer our dough over. At this point, if you can tell our dough is really sticky and tacky, it's because of the water. So it will stick to everything and will try to stick to itself. So just be patient with yourself and take your time on this. I'm using a bench scraper for this. If you don't have one, you can always use a spatula, or as grandmas call it, the pancake churner. So just keep lining your half sheet tray with the dough. You want to leave a little space in between. You don't want them touching, just so we get an even bake on all of our crackers. It's basically the same method you would do for cookies. And you just want to get as much cracker dough on your pan as possible. And it should look something like this. Next, we'll throw it in our oven on the middle rack, and we're going to bake them until they're golden brown. Next, we'll set a timer for 12 minutes, and after 12 minutes, we'll check to see how close they are to being done. Alright, here's our crackers. They came out nice, golden and brown. I ended up going 15 minutes. I know I set the timer for 12. I just checked them at 12, and if they're done at 12, of course, pull them. If not, just keep going for the other 3 minutes for a full 15 minutes. It's really dependent on your oven and how dark you want your crackers. So just keep an eye on them. And if they need longer time, then go longer, or if they need shorter, go shorter. But they came out nice and golden brown. Let's see that crunch. Nice. It's a good sound. You can cut your crackers like this, or you can be lazy like me. Just make one giant cracker. It's so much easier. Then you can summon your inner Karate Kid or Cobra Kai, whatever you're into, and just chop it in half. There you go. Got yourself some crackers. But unfortunately with this, you make little daggers, and that's not so good for the kids. But that one's a lot easier instead of having to cut them. And then you have random different sizes, which is totally fine. But it's really up to you, whatever you decide to do. Alright, enough horsing around. Let's give our crackers a try. Nice and crunchy, salty, nice toasted flavor to it. It's really good. I need to go get some water now though. Alright, that's it for this video. These crackers are super easy to make. They go great with meat and cheese platters or with hummus, or just have a great crunchy snack around the house. And it's a new year and you want to take care of yourself? Well, this is a cheap, easy snack to have. They're so much cheaper than anything you can buy at the store, and a lot healthier for you. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and also find me on Instagram at TaylorMakes92. I think I'm gonna go practice my karate in the garage. I'll see you on the next one. And it's a new year, and it's a new you, so go get it, boo. Made a mess. Mouth is dry.